It started like any other day at the hospital, with nurses hustling through the halls and patients needing care. Among them was Angela, a dedicated nurse known for her sharp instincts and compassionate heart. While doing her routine checks, she approached a young black woman named Lisa, who had been admitted for what seemed like a minor health issue. But something didn't feel right. As Angela leaned closer, she noticed a faint, unusual smell, a mix of something metallic and chemical. At first, she thought it might be related to hospital equipment or medication. Then her eyes caught yellow stains on Lisa's skin, peeking from under her gown. It didn't make sense. The stains weren't explained by any treatment or condition she knew of. Angela's gut told her this was more than a routine case. Lisa seemed uneasy, her voice shaky when answering questions. It wasn't just the smell or the stains. There was something deeper in her demeanor, like she was holding back a secret or hiding pain she couldn't explain. Angela couldn't ignore the growing sense that something was dangerously wrong. She stepped away and made a decision that would change everything. She called 911. But what was Angela sensing? Why were there strange stains on Lisa, and what could they mean? What happened next shocked everyone and revealed a hidden story that no one saw coming. As the paramedics arrived, Angela couldn't shake the feeling that she'd done the right thing, even if she didn't have all the answers yet. Lisa seemed surprised by the commotion, but didn't resist. Her silence spoke louder than any words could. The room was filled with tension, the kind that makes you feel like you're on the edge of uncovering something important, but also terrifying. The EMTs began their assessment, and Angela noticed how Lisa's hands trembled as she clutched the thin hospital blanket. Her eyes darted around the room, avoiding contact, as if she was afraid to say something that might make things worse. It was then that Angela started piecing things together. Lisa had been admitted earlier that day, complaining of dizziness and fatigue. Her records didn't show anything unusual. No allergies, no recent illnesses, nothing that explained her condition. But those yellow stains, the odd smell, they were signs Angela hadn't seen before, and her years of experience told her they weren't random. Meanwhile, Lisa's hesitance to speak about her personal life raised more questions. Where had she been before coming to the hospital? Was she in danger? The more Angela thought about it, the more she realized Lisa might not just be a patient. She might be a victim. The paramedics decided to take Lisa to a specialized facility for further tests. But as they wheeled her out, Lisa turned to Angela. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice barely audible. Angela felt a chill. What was she thanking her for? Was it help, or was it something much bigger? The questions hung in the air, unanswered, as Lisa disappeared through the hospital doors. Angela couldn't get Lisa out of her mind. Something about her whispered that the story went far deeper than what anyone could see on the surface. That faint thank you felt loaded with meaning, like Lisa knew Angela had given her a lifeline. But why? What was Lisa hiding or protecting? Later that evening, Angela found herself scrolling through the day's notes, hoping to spot something she might have overlooked. Then it hit her, the stains. They weren't just random. They formed streaks, almost as if something had dripped or been wiped away. And that smell, it was faint but unforgettable. She remembered something similar from years ago, during a seminar about hazardous substances and their effects on the body. Could Lisa have been exposed to something dangerous? At the same time, Lisa was being examined at the specialized facility. Doctors ran test after test, but couldn't pinpoint the cause of her symptoms. She remained quiet, giving short answers to their questions. One nurse, noticing Lisa's apprehension, tried to break the ice. "You're safe here," she said gently. Lisa's lips quivered, but she stayed silent. Meanwhile, Angela decided to dig deeper. She made a call to Lisa's listed emergency contact, a friend named Kayla. But when Kayla picked up, her voice immediately carried fear. "Lisa's at the hospital?" she asked, panic creeping in. "She didn't tell me. I thought she was safe now." Safe from what? Angela felt her stomach drop. Kayla's words confirmed what she'd feared. Lisa wasn't just sick. She was running from something or someone. And Angela had a sinking feeling that whoever or whatever she was running from wasn't far behind. Angela couldn't shake the urgency in Kayla's voice. It was clear Lisa had been hiding something serious, but there's something unusual. We found traces of a chemical compound on her skin. It's not common and might indicate exposure to something toxic. Do you know if she worked with chemicals? Angela thought back to her brief interactions with Lisa. There hadn't been any mention of work. And yet, the signs were all there. Lisa was exposed to something dangerous. But how? And why wasn't she speaking up about it? At the same time, Lisa sat in the sterile hospital room, her hands folded tightly on her lap. She stared at the floor, tears welling in her eyes. She tried so hard to escape, to leave it all behind, but it felt like the past was closing in on her. A knock at the door made her jump. A doctor entered, holding a clipboard, but Lisa barely registered the words. Unbeknownst to Angela, something else was unfolding. Outside the hospital, a man sat in a car parked across the street. His gaze never left the entrance, his expression cold and unyielding. He pulled out a phone, scrolling through messages before typing something quickly. Angela's phone buzzed. It was Kayla again, her voice trembling. "I think someone's looking for Lisa," she said. "I don't think she's safe." Angela froze as Kayla's words sank in. "What do you mean someone's looking for her?" she asked, her voice low, almost whispering. Kayla hesitated before answering, her tone frantic. "I don't know much, but Lisa called me a few nights ago. She was scared, saying someone was following her. She didn't explain why, just begged me not to tell anyone where she was." Angela's heart pounded. If Lisa was being followed, it wasn't random. Someone had a reason to track her down, and it couldn't be good. She glanced at the clock. The specialized facility wasn't far, but if Kayla was right, Lisa might not be safe even there. Meanwhile, in her hospital room, Lisa's anxiety was building. She kept glancing at the door, her mind racing with thoughts of escape. She knew it was only a matter of time before her past caught up to her. Her hands trembled as she reached for her phone, but it was gone, likely confiscated by hospital staff for her safety. Outside the facility, the man in the car made another call. "She's still here," he said flatly. "Do you want me to wait or go in now?" His tone was calm, but his words carried an unmistakable threat. Angela didn't wait for another call. She grabbed her coat and headed for the parking lot, her gut screaming that she needed to be there. Just as she started the car, her phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. The message read, ****, stay out of this. You don't know what you're dealing with. ****. Angela's hands gripped the wheel tighter. Whoever was after Lisa knew she was involved, and they were watching her too. Angela's mind raced as she drove toward the facility, her grip on the steering wheel tight. The cryptic text replayed in her head, sending a chill through her. She couldn't let fear stop her now. Lisa needed her. When Angela arrived, she immediately noticed the car parked across the street. Its engine was running, and the man inside had a cold, calculating look as he scanned the hospital entrance. Angela didn't stop to think. She rushed inside, determined to get to Lisa before anyone else did. Lisa's room was quiet, but the tension was palpable. When Angela entered, Lisa looked up, her face pale and tear-streaked. "He's here, isn't he?" Lisa whispered, her voice trembling. Angela nodded, her heart breaking for the terrified woman in front of her. "We're going to get you out of here," Angela said firmly. She had no plan, but her resolve was unshakable. Just as she helped Lisa to her feet, the sound of footsteps echoed in the hallway. The man had entered the building. Angela quickly led Lisa to a side exit, her adrenaline pumping. They made it outside and slipped into Angela's car. But just as they pulled away, the man's car roared to life and followed them. Angela's hands shook as she drove, weaving through streets, trying to lose him. Finally, Angela spotted a police station up ahead. She swerved into the parking lot, honking the horn as she pulled up to the entrance. Officers rushed out, and the man's car screeched to a halt. As the police surrounded him, Lisa broke down in tears. "He's not just after me," she sobbed. "He's part of something bigger." Angela's blood ran cold. The man was arrested, but his chilling smirk suggested this wasn't over. Lisa's nightmare was only the beginning.